Let's see. What color should I pick? I'm kind of digging blue. Ooh, I like that. I think I'm gonna pick blue. What do you guys think? I mean, I can always change it later, right? So I wanna show you guys these cool slim LED tubes that were sent out from King TV. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys might have seen a story that I did on these. And so far, I've been digging them. These are really, really cool. They kind of remind me of my quasar tubes that I've had for a while. In fact, I did a video on those, like these budget LED lights. If you guys did not watch that, I will leave it linked down below so you guys can go ahead and check them out. So they come in different sizes. The one I have here is a 3-footer. I also have 4-foot and the ones that you see back there, which we'll talk about those in a second because these are RGB. So this one here is a daylight. So you can see here from the controller, it says 5600 Kelvin. Somewhere it says here 5600 Kelvin. So this one does not change. They do have a bicolor, which means that you can adjust the temperature from like 32 or 3300, I don't remember, to 5600 Kelvin. This one here is daylight, meaning it only stays at 5600 Kelvin. It does come with this really strange, overly large, which we'll talk about this in a second, control box that you can adjust the intensity. So right now it's at 10%, and you can see when we blow this up to 84%, it can get pretty bright. What I do like about these is that you can actually power these on with these like Sony NP batteries, which is very useful. What I don't like about them is when you don't have these Sony batteries, it can become a little cumbersome. So I'll show you guys what you need to power them. So you need this DC adapter or AC adapter. So you plug this in, and then from here, you need this. It's kind of a mess. In fact, I might cut into the B-roll so you can see the spaghetti that's going on over here just to get these going. So if you have batteries, I think that's going to be the best method. And so far, I've tested these out for a couple of hours at like 40–50%, which is pretty bright. You can see here, this is at 40–50% right here. They do last a long time, so you don't really have to worry about that. So I recommend that if you do use these, definitely pick up these Sony batteries. So this is attached permanently. That's another thing I don't like about it, is that it is attached to this. So meaning this is like a 4-foot cable roughly that is attached to the control box. Now you can disconnect it from the control box. So let me turn this off. And it has like this XLR adapter, you can see here, that you can connect it to. So obviously it does come apart, but this is all pretty much together, so you can't take that apart. So that's kind of a bummer. But overall, really cool light. Something that I haven't seen yet from the quasar tubes is these little barn doors, which I really like. So for example, if you want to shape your light, so if I want to use this as a hair light, in fact, what I can do is I can place this up above, and you'll see here that it has several 1/4-20 mounts that you can use. There's a total of, I believe, like 6 of them up above that you can mount this pretty much anywhere. And then what you can do with these barn doors is just shape them. So I'll show you guys really quick how you can close it up, use it as a hair light up above so you don't get any spill into your wall. So that is very useful. I really, really like that. The one thing I don't like is these little, or this aluminum seems very flimsy. In fact, you might not be able to see here, but this one's a little bit damaged from shipping actually. I actually got it like that. Actually, let me see. I don't know if the camera up there will pick this up, but it kind of got damaged, so that's kind of a bummer. The good thing is that you can replace these barn doors. You can actually take these off very easily, so you don't necessarily have to use these barn doors. They do come in handy, especially when you're actually transporting them. You can just close them up and you know that your tube's not gonna get damaged. So the control itself is very simple. I mean, you can just turn it off, turn them off. This does connect to Wi-Fi. You can use an app. I personally don't like the app. It's just very cumbersome to set up. It took me a while to figure it out. This is probably the easiest way to control it, or it also does come with a controller, which is kind of weird looking, but I guess, I mean, it works. You could turn it off, turn it off. You can adjust the intensity with this. It's pretty big. I mean, I wish they could have made this a lot smaller. For example, in comparison, here's the aperture. I think that they could have done something like this, which you can definitely put in your pocket. This looks like a little Fisher-Price toy controller. I don't know why they did it this way, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. There's also other things that you can do. For example, if you go into mode, which I just turned mine off. If you go into mode, they have, for example, lightning. Let me go down and show you really quick here. So if you push this button right here, you can go down to lightning. Oops, I skipped it. There it goes, lightning. So that's gonna emulate lightning, and of course you can adjust the settings. Sorry if that's giving you like a seizure attack right now. Let me turn that off. And then you can do, for example, like this breathing effect. There's different modes. I find that just using them just for a regular light is probably gonna be the best, in my opinion. Now we get into the fun stuff, the RGB ones. Those are the ones I actually really like, because obviously you can change the different color temperatures. They are also bicolor, so you can change the different colors. And then they also sell this controller right here. So this controller is, I believe they call it the commander module. So you can actually control multiple lights. You can combine them and put them in, for example, a group. And right now, if you notice, if I move this around, it'll change the different colors. So this controller is actually pretty neat. I recommend if you do end up picking the lights or picking several lights, you do pick this up because this is actually very useful. So here we can change the different colors, or if I push on this button here, I can adjust the Kelvin temperature. So I can go all the way down from 3200, I wasn't sure. So it's actually 3200 Kelvin. And if I want something cooler, I can go up to 5600 Kelvin. So I personally prefer this one, the RGB, that has the different RGB colors and also the different temperatures that you can adjust. So that's very useful. And then of course the intensity. So that's at 100%, 3300 Kelvin, just to give you an idea. And then let's say if I tone this down to maybe 27, 58%, and then I can go up to 5600 Kelvin. And then of course I can also use the dimmer, so it has presets. So if I push on this button, it goes to 25%. If I push on this button, it goes to 50%, 75, and 100. So these are all presets that, I mean, are useful if you're in a set and you just want to go down to 25%. It'll automatically adjust them all to 25%. You have different IDs that basically select groups of lights that you can combine. So you can have like top lights in a separate group. One thing I do like about these lights is that you can dim them down all the way to 1%. So that is actually 1% right now. And the thing is, with 1%, you don't see any flicker. So that's really important, especially with like cameras. You'll start to see flickering whenever, or you start to see some banding whenever it is at 1%. Typically with like cheap lights, you'll see that. So you can get it down to 1%. And I'll do the same with this one, just to show you how soft that is. And then for comparison purposes, I'll just turn my key light off and then show you. This is really soft. In fact, you can actually use this as a key light. So I'll turn this up a little bit and then let me just adjust this. See, I don't like this cable. I mean, you have to have it, and obviously if I put like a diffuser, it'll be much better. Right now I am at 32%. I don't know if that's too hot. I don't have a monitor right now that I'm looking at. Obviously change the intensity, but these can get really bright. I mean, this is at 100% right now. And like I said, you can use this as a key light, obviously diffuse it, because that's gonna be a lot better. One thing I do like is these lights do come in this little carrying case. It is very nice too, because it has Velcros to strap everything down. And it also has this little sleeve that goes over the LED tube. So I'll show you from this one here. Here you can see the little sleeve, and then you put this on top of the LED tube, you close it up, and then it keeps it protected so that way, you know, during transportation, it doesn't break. So I do like that. Now this kit over here is one of my favorite because it does come with this, and then obviously you can mount all 4 lights together. You don't necessarily have to mount 4 lights like this. You can mount them horizontal or vertically. So you can use a C-stand or a light stand, and then they work out really well. So I do like this setup better because of this. And then of course, this is a must if you do end up getting multiple, because you can control a whole bunch. So yeah, so far, like I said, I'm really digging these lights. I think they're very useful. One thing I will say that they are a little bit smaller than the Quasar tube. So I have a Quasar tube over here. They're about, I'm gonna say maybe like 15–20% smaller. So that's why they call them slim LED tubes. I still like the Quasar in a sense that you can actually use these, for example, with normal, what is it, T9 lights. So you can actually use these and replace them. I do like that these don't have the little pigtail attached to it, so you can detach it. Those are little things that I do like that I hope that Kane TV probably implements in the future, because I don't like that this is all together. If something breaks, or let's say, you know, something happens to this, you're kind of screwed. You have to end up getting a whole entire light, which can get very expensive, especially like the RGB ones. Those range quite a bit. And in fact, speaking of pricing, I've seen pricing, you know, all over the place. So what I'm gonna do is I'll leave links down below to the lowest price that I find on the internet. And that way you guys can get the best deal. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is Armando. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios.